Hey everyone, so a leader from the Black Lives Matter movement, Chanel Helm, has made 10 requests of white people, and it's among the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. I have a few things to say about this list. First off, you'll notice that there is a thread throughout many of these points in that they call for white people to give up their homes or property and give it to black people. For example, if you're going to inherit property and want to sell it once you obtain it, just give it away to a black or brown impoverished family. Forget the millions of other people in this country that could use a free home. Just give it to, quote, us. And if you don't have any descendants, will your property to a black or brown family. And this is one of my favorites. If you can downsize your home, just give away your home for free and buy a smaller home, even without receiving proceeds from a house sale. According to the author of this absurd list, you will, quote, make money in some other white privileged way, as if all white people in this country just have a breezy time and everything is given to them on a silver platter. In the twisted view of this author, there are no white people in this country struggling. There are no white people worried about how to pay for their bills, rent, mortgage, groceries, car payments, or healthcare. This person has such a warped view of how life actually is for huge numbers of white Americans. It's this contorted perspective that whites can never be downtrodden, never be struggling, even generationally. It's purely an outlook on the societal landscape that is distorted through the lens of purely victimhood. Another point that bothers me greatly with this list is its highly insulting nature to many black people. How insulting and demeaning is it to black people that lived responsible lives and have cut out a good life for themselves? The narrative behind this list is that black people are helpless and only whites giving things up due to white guilt can be the means by which black people can pull themselves up. It has to be incredibly insulting and infuriating to the huge numbers of black people that have worked like crazy and have removed themselves from poverty. The other point I'd like to make is a more subtle one. On number 7 it says, quote, nosy Jenny and meddling Kathy, referring to all white women as some group of gossiping children with predictably generic white names. Imagine if there had been a list for black people, and on one of the points it refers to all black women by some ridiculous adjective followed by a common African name. It would be criticized correctly as being ignorant and racist. However, when the opposite occurs, we hear nothing from the left, simply crickets. And although I'm speaking about this list right now, this sort of nonsense occurs on a constant basis. Those within the social justice warrior or Black Lives Matter movement routinely say things that would immediately destroy the reputation and credibility of a white person saying these things. And if that white person did have their reputation and credibility destroyed by saying something this stupid, it would be well deserved. But as the old saying goes, repeat something enough and it becomes truth. Well, this is a classic scenario of that exact phenomena. Absolute rubbish is repeated over and over, and the mindless sheep within the social justice warrior movement cling to it in a completely reason-free way. Also, let's not forget the extremely simple to understand fact that white people alive today in the US had nothing to do with any historical event that occurred before they were born. It's a painfully easy concept to understand. No one in the history of the world has accomplished anything themselves before they existed. This is another one of those very simple ideas that for whatever reason gets scoffed at, yet it's a simple truth that many on the left don't want to accept because it hurts their mindless narrative. Thanks, and that's all for now.